Hello friends, welcome to the Books with Grandpa. Today we are going to talk about Gary Keller and Jay Pepson's productive book, The One Thing, which is based on a simple principle. If you want more productivity, more income, more satisfaction, more time, then you will have to take small steps and will have to want less. One thing means to spend all your time and energy to do one thing or one thing. Forget everything else for now. Do something that is most important for you, that matters the most, that fulfills your life purpose. Stop doing all those things that you can do. Start doing all those things that you should do. Not everything is equally important. Start doing what is really important. The author says that if you want to get extraordinary results, then you have to narrow your focus. To get success, you have to do less, not more. People have a mentality that to be successful, you have to work hard and give more time. But it is not like that. You have to work less, not more. You have to remove all the useless things in your life and do those things that will really make you successful. To explain this book easily, it is divided into 6 parts. So let's go through them one by one in detail. Also, for regular updates of such book summaries, subscribe to our channel. If you have already subscribed, then press the bell icon so that you can enjoy our 2 new book videos every week and move forward. So let's start. 3 commitments. Take a mastery mindset. Mastery is a never-ending process of deliberate practice. Decide what you want to master and get to work. Find ways to do things in the best way. The best of the best is committed to improving how well they work. For extraordinary results, things need to be done differently. When you face okay things where you are competent, don't stop there, because it is comfortable for you. Try to be the best at the task in your hands. Be accountable for that one thing of yours. You are either accountable or not. Accountable people overcome challenges, solve problems, and achieve results. Be accountable. Find an accountability partner who can keep you at a high standard, give objective feedback, and brainstorm with you when needed. 6 lies of success. Everything has the same meaning. Equality is an idea, but it is not practical in the world of results. If you don't check the to-do list properly, then it can control your whole day along with your tasks. You get committed to everything mentioned in the to-do list. Instead of those tasks that matter in the cell, you should have a success list instead of a to-do list. Achievers focus on essentials. Live a life that is focused on some important things instead of many things. This 80-20 principle also tells, which is not a theory, but a law of nature. 7. Multitasking. People think they can multitask, but they can't. We can be capable of doing many things at once, but we can't focus on 2 things at once. Multitasking is ineffective and inefficient. It keeps switching from one task to another, which costs your valuable energy, time, and efficiency. 8. Discipline life. A common idea is that you need to be disciplined all the time for success. But the truth is that no one can be disciplined all the time. You need discipline to make a habit in a year, which takes an average of 66 days to make. Once you make a habit, that action or behavior becomes an automatic part of your life. And to maintain it, you don't need much discipline or cognitive energy. So, if you have the discipline to develop the right habits, your life starts working for you instead of working against you. 9. Willpower. An idea is that you can use your willpower whenever you want. So if you don't feel like doing anything, just awaken your willpower and that's it. But this is a useless idea because willpower is a limited resource. It's like a power bar on your cell phone, a limited and renewable resource that needs to be managed. When your willpower runs out, you come back to your default setting. So at the end of a day's hard work, you take a packet of chips instead of an apple. You also know that you need an apple for your health, but your willpower is over and you don't have a strong defense mechanism against salty chips. 10. Balanced life. Living a balanced life is a useless concept. What you want to find is purpose and meaning, not balance. Balance is not bad at all. But if you follow success in some areas, then it naturally comes at the cost of other things. When this happens, then you need to make sure that the things that you care about don't have a lot of balance equality capital in them. When you are struggling with the ball of life, then you feel that the work is a rubber ball that bounces back when you mess up and when the ball falls. On the other hand, family, health, friends, and integrity are like glass balls. When you leave them, the consequences are big. When it comes to work, then consider it in the form of a skill that you want to develop until you master it. Don't pay attention to everything else with work. Make sure that you are giving something to everyone in your life. Growing up is bad. Growing up in your life is not a bad thing. If you believe this myth, then a small thought will dominate your life. Growing up is good. Growing up is about what you can become, and bold ideas that reflect your exciting future. What you build today will either empower or restrict your future. For next-level success, it will serve you in the form of a platform or it will tie you where you are now. To live a good life, you need to think big. Ask big questions. Get rid of incremental thinking. Adopt a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset.
4. Productivity thieves. Not being able to say no. Life keeps requesting you for something that will never end. You can't say yes to everything, and you shouldn't do that either. It is your responsibility to say yes to that one thing. There can be many reasons to be afraid of your refusal, but you have to learn how to say no and find a system to be comfortable with it. 5. Fear of chaos. When you say yes to something, it often comes at the cost of doing a list of things that will never end, which you think you need to do. If you are used to trying to do everything, then you may be afraid of what happens when you leave some things, but being comfortable in not doing some small bad things so that you can focus on that one thing which is important for your success. 6. Bad health habits. If you don't take care of your health, then you won't have the energy or ability to be successful. You need to protect your most valuable asset, that is, yourself. Meditate, exercise, take a break, sleep. To keep yourself in good health, do whatever you want to do. 7. An environment that doesn't support your goals. Every day you are around someone, and whatever you experience, your destiny decides. By surrounding yourself with negative people, that attitude will also come inside you. You think, work, and become like those people with whom you spend the most time. You surround yourself with positive, motivated, driven, smart, and successful people. Design your working environment so that you can focus on that one thing. 4 important lessons. Myth of to-do list. Let's look at the idea of success. The path to success is challenging, and it is not the same for everyone. If this was the case, then only one book would have to be stocked in your personal development section, or all the startups would have become a multi-million-dollar business. The same thing applies to taking action. Different actions have different consequences and different success rates. So how do we decide what to do? How do we make good decisions? One thing that authors suggest is to finish 100 tasks for any reason. To substitute a meaningful task, there is a bad substitute. A list of full and comprehensive tasks is a burden and fills our day with less important things. Being busy is not like being successful. Keller and Papasan demand that instead of to-do lists, we need a success list. A list that is purposefully made around extraordinary results. So what is a success list? Let's look at the 80-20 rule again. The 80-20 rule states that 80% of our output is achieved with 20% of our input. This means that to achieve the best result, we need to identify and prioritize that 20% of our output. Like a success list, which is like a steroid on the 80-20 rule. Take 20%, apply the operator again, repeat and repeat until you are left with only one thing in the list. Once you reduce the list, what is left is what you should do. However, before getting stuck on one task, there is another important myth that needs to be removed. Multitasking is not a task. Think of it this way. There are 2 progress cars like one, but we only have money to fill one tank of progress gas. Do we fill one or do we fill both? If we fill both, we move ahead in the direction of our ambition, but both can only take us halfway. However, if we had filled only one tank of gas and used it, we would have reached our destination. As the author says in the book, you can do two things at a time, but you cannot effectively focus on two things at a time. Every time when we try to do two or more things at the same time, we distribute our focus and reduce all the results of the process. The myth of work-life balance. Here is a history lesson of work-life balance. 200 years ago, a villager could go home only when he was very tired. Neither at 5 in the evening, when his workday was officially over, nor because this was decided in his agreement. He worked independently and did what he had to do when he needed to do it. After the Industrial Revolution, in a larger quantity, people got the idea of work-life balance only after the concept of working for someone else was introduced. The changing requirements of jobs forced people to stay out of the house. The principles of management changed, and by default, the meaning of success was that workers were forced to separate their life, work activities, and outside activities. Workers did not work at home, and home activities could not be done at work. Due to the changing demand of today's workforce, most of us try to find the elusive work-life balance to be more successful. However, the author of this book argues that the idea of work-life ratio is a myth, and it does not support success. If we want to be successful, then balanced life cannot be achieved. If we want to believe in Malcolm Gladwell, then we need to focus on one thing and turn in its direction for 10,000 hours. The question of balance is actually a question of priority. When we work on our priorities, we come out of balance and give the most time to something. Selecting discipline and making it a habit. Success is actually a small race motivated by discipline. A sprint is enough to get used to it. If you want to make it a habit, then this is the way that you have to use your willpower or discipline. It is difficult, but you have to keep going. According to research, it takes an average of 66 days. This number may be different for you, but remember that this is not something that you can achieve overnight. And once you get used to this discipline, you get better at it and it becomes easy to exclude it. Domino effect. It is very simple to do dominoes. You put them in a line and keep a finger on the first one. In the real world, it is a little more complicated. The challenge is that life does not line up everything for us and say, this is the place where you should start. A lot of successful people know this. That is why every day they prepare their priorities in a new way. They find the lead domino and do it until it falls. But why does this approach work? Because extraordinary success is a sequence, not simultaneous, which starts with linear and becomes geometric. You do the right thing and then you do the next right thing. With time, it increases and the geometric potential of success comes out.
Domino effect applies to your work or your business. And it also applies to the smallest moment of the day when you are trying to decide what to do next. Success builds on success, and when it happens, you move towards the highest possible success. According to Wikipedia, a domino effect or chain reaction occurs when an event makes a chain of similar events. The author says that a domino can knock on the next domino, which is 50% bigger than that domino. If you start with a 2-inch domino, then the 10th domino will be as long as the NFL quarterback Peyton Manning. The 18th domino is the size of the Tower of Pisa. The 23rd domino is the size of the Eiffel Tower. The 31st will be taller than Mount Everest. And the 57th will take you to the moon. The point is that by doing one thing at a time, you get extraordinary results. Success is built on a sequence, not simultaneously. It's not just about taking a domino in a line, paying attention to it, knocking it and then lining up the next domino, one thing at a time. There will be big things in the long run. If he finds one thing for himself, how can we bring it all together? How can we find that one thing? According to the author, we need to ask a focusing question. What can I do? By doing this, everything else will be easy or necessary. Let's divide this idea into 3 parts. What can I do with one thing? It tells us that there will be one option out of many. It directs us to be specific. I can do, the last phrase. It's our call to action. By doing this, it tells us that our answer should meet a standard. By doing this, it makes us sure that our actions will achieve positive results. Everything else will be easy or unnecessary. It assures us that good things will come. To make it more specific, we insert our focus area or introduce a time frame like this year and frame the focusing question again. For example, for my job, what can I do to make sure that I will achieve my goal this week? By doing this, everything else will be easy or unnecessary. The author believes that focusing question is the biggest question that we can ask ourselves. But the challenge of asking a good question is that once we ask it, we have to face finding a good answer. There are three categories of answers: doable, stretch, or possibility. Doable is the easiest answer that is already within the reach of our knowledge, skill, and experience. We can do it. Stretch is the next level stretch answer. Although it is still within our reach, it can be at the farthest end. Possibility, if we want more than our answer, then we should understand that it is out of our comfort zone. What we already know and what is going on beyond that, a possibility answer exists. A new answer, although the author reminds us that we will not be able to achieve one thing without difficulty. If you don't have a big picture view, then we can easily reach different objectives. In other words, once we get what we want, our happiness decreases, because what you achieve, you get used to it. New objectives become more attractive. Being purposeful helps us. Knowing what we are doing, why we are doing it, give us motivation to keep moving forward when things are not going well. So friends, this can happen anytime. When that thing is according to your purpose and it's at the top of your priorities, then it will be the most productive thing that you can use to launch your best. Action builds action. Habits builds habits. Success builds success. Thank you, friends. I hope you like this video. I hope you make all the lessons of this video into your life. You will be able to live your life better. You can also download Cuckoo FM and use RBC50 coupon code for discount. Link is given in the description. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, then subscribe to the channel immediately. Like and comment on the video. This increases our motivation consistently. You can also follow us on Instagram, where we share the knowledge of all our books daily. If you want to help us in collaboration or promotion, then email us. If you find this video helpful, then share it with everyone. See you soon with a new video. Thank you so much.